Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis prepare to enter negotiations for a fight with one another.
Gervonta Davis has announced Shakur Stevenson as his next opponent. In the ongoing clash of southpaws, Gervonta and Shakur are the last ones standing.
Because Shakur Stevenson is that difficult. Because of his style, because of his abilities, because of his eyes, because of his, his legs, that his hand speed, the way that he controls range. Tank Davis is the only guy that I can see that could possibly decipher that style and beat Shakur Stevenson.
Over a year since his return to the ring, the Baltimore fighter quickly demonstrated why he's considered one of boxing's top stars. True to form, he defeated Frank Martin at the MGM Grand last month. Having held the lightweight title since 2019, it was time for a new challenge, a title unification. However, this meant facing other champions, such as Vasyl Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, and Denis Berinchyk. As time passed, discussions about a potential match with the Ukrainian Olympic gold medalist gained momentum. Unfortunately, the excitement was short-lived. Reports indicate that the medalist chose to take a step back and spend time with family, leaving both the boxing world and fans confused. However, there wasn't much time for prolonged disappointment. Enter the Newark-born southpaw, who has now responded in kind. It seems the stage is set for the fight everyone has been eagerly awaiting. Boxing Kingdom shared a message that both the Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson teams have been showing positive vibes for a potential fight in the future. Public statements from both Team Gervonta Davis and Team Shakur Stevenson suggest both teams are open to making this super fight next. The two have sparred hundreds of rounds over recent years, including one 20-minute round in a Baltimore gym in 2017, it read. Fans might want to revisit Frank Martin's post-fight press conference. Remember Gervonta Davis's comments about a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson? That seems like a distant memory now. During his talk at Mill City Boxing, even Kenny Ellis, Davis's longtime trainer, expressed optimism that a bout with the Rio Olympic silver medalist now appears to be the next logical step after the Loma fallout. Having successfully defended his title for the first time since becoming a lightweight champion last year, Shakur Stevenson is now eyeing his next major challenge. While playful banter and exchanges from their sparring days continue, they can be set aside in pursuit of a bout that's on every boxing fan's wish list. Explaining the magnitude of the potential fight with Gervonta Davis, he reportedly said, "That's like the biggest fight in the world. If we are really thinking about it, every hood in America is going to want to watch that fight. It's going to be a tremendous fight. That's the biggest and best fight to make in boxing. That's the game plan for me and the end goal." Fans will never forget how the Baltimorean inked his colleague, who was born in Newark, on the now famous hit list. Maybe there is a place and a time for everything. Stylistically, there's no doubt that the fight between these two champions ranks among the best matchups in recent memory. But how will it unfold? And will fans ever get to see the Tank-Loma bout? Despite both sides seemingly preparing for a bout, it's important to note that Shakur Stevenson is no longer associated with a promotion. He is now a free agent. The fight on June 6th against Artem Harutyunyan was his final appearance under Top Rank. Consequently, issues such as purse guarantees, expense coverage, broadcasting rights, sponsorship, and marketing deals are now considerations that both parties will need to address. Shakur Stevenson has previously shown interest in fighting the Matrix, and whether he or Tank wins or loses, both could potentially face Lomachenko next year. This matchup could offer a chance for title unification for the winner or a fresh championship opportunity for the loser. The Ukrainian champion is likely aware that his career is winding down. After proving his critics wrong by becoming a 3-division champion this year, a fight against either Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson next year would significantly enhance his legacy. Meanwhile, promoter Bob Arum has announced that Vasyl Lomachenko will make his return to the ring in 2025. Lomachenko decided to postpone the unification bout with WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, originally scheduled for November, to focus on resuming his career. Arum hasn't confirmed if Lomachenko will face Tank when he returns in 2025. However, even if that fight doesn't materialize, Lomachenko could still earn a substantial income by competing against WBO champion Denis Berinchyk and Shakur Stevenson. If Lomachenko decides against fighting Tank Davis, he may end up settling scores due to the fact that Davis has avoided any dealings with Lomachenko for a solid 6 years until now. The significance of Lomachenko's presence has only become clear recently, and the reasons for this avoidance are quite evident. fans have been speculating that IBF lightweight champion Lomachenko might be considering retirement. This speculation arises from his decision to bypass a high-profile bout with Tank Davis, which could have been a lucrative opportunity and potentially his biggest career payday by a substantial margin. Tank Davis's team is livid that the 36-year-old Lomachenko reversed his decision about the fight, accusing him of ducking the challenge. However, what Team Tank is overlooking is that Davis himself avoided facing Lomachenko over the past 6 years, when the likelihood of him defeating Gervonta was high. They're eager to face Lomachenko now because he's older and seen as more vulnerable, making it a strategic move for Team Tank. It's textbook cherry-picking, a tactic some boxing fans believe has propelled Davis in his career. Tank's management has been carefully orchestrating matchups from the beginning, and it's been effective. However, this meticulous approach has notably slowed his rise in popularity, resulting in generally modest PPV buys, with the exception of his notable success against Ryan Garcia. It could be Tank as far as Lomachenko is concerned, promoter Bob Arum told ProBox TV about Vasily Lomachenko. He further added, "He's made his money and he's saved his money. We'll see him again." Tim Bradley to Sean Zittle's YouTube channel. "If you don't feel you can hang with Tank, put a fork in you. It's done. It's going to be hard to return. If he was to return, it's going to be really hard to return to the sport. But I think Loma retired without saying it. He retired." Bradley is incorrect. Lomachenko might be concentrating on other issues in his home Ukraine. He must be under stress because his nation is at war. Tank's management has been carefully orchestrating matchups from the beginning, and it's been effective. However, this meticulous approach has notably slowed his rise in popularity, resulting in generally modest PPV buys, with the exception of his notable success against Ryan Garcia. Bradley said, "It's a business. Whoever the younger fighter is that's generating the money, they want them to win. That's just how it goes. I don't know what Lomachenko is going through." Political slants permeate boxing, and it's no secret that judges favor well-liked competitors. Referees often favor well-known fighters, issuing standing 8 counts even when they're close to being knocked out. While sanctioning bodies may mandate rematches for fighters who lose, they rarely offer the same consideration when lesser-known fighters are unfairly treated. "You put all that stress on top of that with his family and friends and stuff," said Bradley about Lomachenko. He added, "Fighting in a war and getting killed. My hat goes off to Loma on another note. I hope he's okay. If he decides to hang them up, it is what it is. He's had a great career. He's made his money. He's made his mark. He's made his history." Had Lomachenko not been given the go-ahead by the judges in his battle against Devin Haney last year, he would have succeeded in his aim of becoming the undisputed lightweight champion. Bradley said, "He didn't accomplish his last goal of becoming undisputed lightweight champion, but that's fine. You accomplished a lot, and you've revolutionized the sport. The sport is different now because of Loma." Even though it seemed he had defeated Haney, the judges awarded the victory to the younger, more popular fighter. This decision cast a shadow over the sport and did little to benefit Haney, as it led to perceptions of favoritism. "You've got a lot of guys trying to fight for a world championship a lot faster now. You got a lot of guys trying to emulate Loma's footwork. They're trying to emulate his footwork. When you have that kind of effect, that's legendary status. People trying to emulate your style," said Bradley. Lomachenko has achieved a great deal in boxing and is often emulated more than the widely popular Tank Davis, who relies predominantly on his power. Loma's skills and talent are on a higher level, making him a key figure that other fighters aspire to learn from. The door seemed open for a clash between the champions, a fight Lomachenko had sought for years. Initial discussions with Bob Arum's top rank were promising. However, the situation shifted when Lomachenko's manager, Egis Klimas, announced that his fighter would not return this year due to a lack of motivation. In a conversation with Sean Zittle, Hall of Fame fighter turned analyst Tim Bradley expressed high regard for the Ukrainian, but described the move as nothing short of a duck. Bradley discussed Loma's cancellation of a potential fight with Tank, reflecting on the term duck, which implies avoiding a fight. He admitted that he had been critical of Tyson Fury when negotiations with Usyk fell through and felt he needed to apply the same standard here. Bradley conceded that calling it a duck was accurate, but he believed there was a deeper issue. He noted that Loma, known for not avoiding challenges, had now avoided fights twice, first with Shakur Stevenson, who wanted the fight but was turned down by Loma, and now with Tank.
Like this word that's been used, and I touched on it earlier, like you said, duck, that he ducked. You know, I thought about it and I'm thinking like, you know, I was hard on Fury when the negotiations kind of fell through with Usyk. So I gotta stay, neutral across the board, man. I gotta be fair across the board. You want to call this a duck? It's a duck. There's no doubt about it. It's literally a duck. But I think it's something deeper, man. And I keep saying that, but because Loma's the type of guy that don't duck any smoke. However, when I look at him and how he's been behaving as of late, I think about the fact that this isn't one time, this is twice. Now, Shakur Stevenson, I believe, Shakur Stevenson was a part of, Top Rank. They had Loma. Shakur wanted that fight. There was no way that Top Rank was on. I guess they couldn't. Loma said he didn't want the fight. Pretty much said it. I didn't want the fight right now. So not only did he duck Shakur, he also ducked Tank. I think Loma knows that.
Bradley continued, stating that the 36-year-old three-weight world champion might decide to retire, despite reports from his team to the contrary. Bradley added that fighters are aware of their own capabilities and limitations, and he suspected that Loma and his team likely wanted to avoid a situation where he could be knocked out or embarrassed. He noted that Loma fought Kambosos because he believed it was a winnable fight that would allow him to secure the belt and retire on a high note. Bradley expressed his belief that this might be the end for Loma, especially given that he is someone who traditionally does not shy away from challenges. With both Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis making significant strides in the sport, a clash between them was inevitable. However, few anticipated it would come so early in Stevenson's career. Following Vasyl Lomachenko's announcement that he won't be fighting until the end of the year, Davis's team began searching for an alternative, and it looks like Stevenson is the chosen opponent. Following their outspoken criticism of the Ukrainian boxer, Davis's team publicly praised Stevenson, an epic battle that has long been anticipated. In keeping with his nickname, Fearless, he answered the call out quickly. He encouraged his colleagues to make the call in his tweet reply, which featured an emoji of a cell phone. This is a monumental clash for both sides, truly a mega fight in every sense. Two of the brightest, youngest stars in American boxing today are going head-to-head. What makes it even more intriguing is that they have sparred numerous times before, giving them an intimate understanding of each other's fighting styles. As previously noted, this is a major fight, but since Stevenson is fighting the biggest name to date, it could be a pivotal point in his career. Only recently did Terence Crawford urge him to stage a major bout next and disprove his detractors. Despite only being 27 years old, Stevenson still has many years of boxing ahead of him, and he is only becoming better. Crawford offered some guidance to the young fighter after realizing this. Fearless and Crawford are close friends, and in a recent interview with MMA Fighting, Crawford discussed his next steps. Crawford said, "I would like to see Shakur Stevenson do exactly what he's doing now. Keeping his name out there in the media, people are talking about him. Ultimately, I want to see him fight the best in the division. I want to see him unify the division and shut these guys up who are saying, he's not this great fighter they think he is. I want to see those guys get in the ring with him. If he ends up taking the Gervonta Davis fight, he'll be playing right into Crawford's hands. Currently, there's no bigger fight for him than facing Tank Davis. Both fighters have defeated every opponent they have faced recently and are undefeated. The anticipation of watching the two face off is palpable. Shakur Stevenson and his team are unequivocally prepared to initiate comprehensive negotiations with Davis for a lightweight unification fight. All that needs to happen now is for those terms to make sense. Stevenson's co-manager Josh Dubin told Boxing Scene, "It's all up to Tank. The one thing about Shakur, he will take anyone you put in front of him. We're here and waiting and ready to negotiate." To better support his situation, Stevenson is now working as a free agent after securing a unanimous decision victory over Artem Harutyunyan on July 6th, which concluded his contract with Top Rank. Premier Boxing Champions officials did not promptly respond to messages from Boxing Scene this week, inquiring about Davis's next course of action. There has been an initial conversation between Davis and Stevenson's agents, an insider told Boxing Scene. Dubin said he would not comment on that topic, but Dubin said, "We'll know how realistic Davis and PBC's interest is by how financially viable they make it for Shakur. They know Shakur produced the highest-rated ESPN card of the year, so they need to come correct." Dubin said he and Stevenson co-manager James Prince have our phone lines open, ready for a call, and they have our numbers. He added, It's a fight Shakur really wants. He's been begging for it for a long time. What Shakur wants to do, let me say it plainly, is to unify at 135. The logical fights to make that happen are to fight the champions. For keeping that fight off limits while Stevenson was affiliated with the promotion, Stevenson took issue with Arum and Lomachenko. Lomachenko obviously knows the outcome, and he walked away, Dubin said. Furthermore, according to Dubin, Stevenson's side requested a unified effort against the newly crowned WBO lightweight champion, Denis Berinchyk. He said, "We couldn't get a straight answer, and that was when Shakur was still under contract. We asked for that fight, and they wanted to talk about a long-term contract. Shakur's own enemy is his own greatness and other people's fear of him. But he has total trust in James and I, and he's also patient. His patience should be rewarded with the Davis battle, which would pit two unbeaten three-division champions in their prime against two well-liked social media personalities. When paired with a well-liked opponent, like Ryan Garcia, Davis has demonstrated his ability to produce more than 1 million pay-per-view sales. For Stevenson, facing one of the sport's most formidable knockout artists presented a chance to counter the criticism of his evasive defensive style, which had drawn negative feedback from audiences and critics regarding his last two fights. A comparable opportunity appeared feasible against the formidable Zepeda, but Zepeda's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, has stated that Zepeda will not be allowed to fight Stevenson unless the Newark, New Jersey native and 2016 U.S. Olympic silver medalist agrees to sign with De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Why would De La Hoya penalize his own fighter? You don't issue edicts like that at the expense of your own fighter, Dubin said. Stevenson advances directly on Davis as a result, looking ready for an unstoppable confrontation. The phone lines are open, Dubin added. Kenny Ellis, who is typically reserved both in and out of the ring, has been showing his frustration with Vasyl Lomachenko's recent gesture in an unexpectedly vocal way. Fans are intrigued by the memes surfacing from his social media posts. During an appearance at Mill City Boxing, Coach Ellis discussed potential matchups for his prominent fighter. In the lightweight division, aside from Lomachenko, there are several contenders for the Baltimore native to face. However, none garnered as much buzz, nearly matching the Lomachenko fight, like a potential bout with Shakur Stevenson. They might need to act swiftly to keep the speculation at bay. When the podcast host learned that Vasyl Lomachenko had refrained from fighting this year, he inquired about Kenny Ellis's response, that he's ducking. He is straight ducking, said Tank Davis's longtime trainer. The next question followed. You think that continues? Do you think he retires? And you guys don't get the fight? What are you thinking in your head right now? The host was curious to find out. Kenny Ellis bluntly suggested that Vasyl Lomachenko should retire. However, due to poor audio quality, his statement was somewhat unclear. It appears that Coach Ellis is of the opinion that Shakur Stevenson will not follow the same path as the Ukrainian champion. The host continued to press for an explanation as to why the famous trainer held that opinion. Kenny Ellis responded that the team should consider challenging the Newark-born Southpaw, the WBC champion. Failing to do so might lead to speculation about Tank ducking the fight. In addition to WBO's Denis Berinchyk and the top contender across the four sanctioning bodies, William Zepeda Shakur Stevenson remains one of Davis's top options for a major bout. Denis Berinchyk secured his championship title this May, making him relatively unknown outside the realm of boxing enthusiasts. On the other hand, the prospect of a match between Zepeda and Tank Davis is highly thrilling. However, given the current success of his career, it remains uncertain whether the Baltimore native would be willing to risk it all for a bout against a powerful contender who isn't holding a title. Why not face off against someone with a contrasting style to create an exciting and captivating dance? Gervonta Davis continues to stand out as one of boxing's premier punchers, known for his exceptional ring prowess. In contrast, you'll be up against an Olympic silver medalist, renowned for his defensive brilliance. Unifying the title makes perfect sense. If Gervonta Davis emerges victorious, he could face Vasyl Lomachenko next year and see if Lomachenko is willing to sign a contract. If the Ukrainian champion refuses again, it would only reinforce the belief that he has been avoiding Tank. However, there is one potential obstacle. Stevenson's current status as a free agent, since his fight against Artem Harutyunyan was his last under the Top Rank banner. Therefore, it may be necessary for both sides to proceed with extreme caution in order to guarantee that the fight will take place by the end of this year or the beginning of the following year. In an interview with Cigar Talk, Boots was asked how he would handle a battle between the two, and, like many others, thought it was difficult to call. Boots commented that the matchup is an excellent one, describing it as a 50, 50-50 fight between two exceptional and skilled fighters. He emphasized that both Shakur and Tank are sharp and capable, with Shakur being technical and skilled in boxing, while Tank brings power and versatility to the ring. Boots concluded that the fight will be a sharp and intriguing contest, and the outcome will only be determined once they face each other in the ring.
Everybody wants to see that. How do you see, your boxing brain? How do you see that fight going?
That's a great fight. I think that's 50-50. These two great guys, two sharp guys, and that's a great fight.
You feel like, is it 50-50? You feel like that?
No,
or is this political books giving me, or you feel like, is it really 50-50?
No, I really think it's 50-50. They both great fighters, though.
Yeah.
We're not gonna know till they get in the ring.
For sure.
I can say all I want. It don't really matter. But I think it's a 50-50 fight.
I think so, too.
That's a great match. Shakur is sharp. He know how to box. He's technical. Tank, he's sharp. He box. He power. He box. He do everything. So I don't know. I think that's gonna make up for a great fight. I think that's gonna be a sharp, technical fight.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.